Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm so excited to talk about a topic that affects everyone, especially when it comes to learning and growing: discipline. Discipline isn't just about strict rules or being rigid with yourself. It's really about creating habits that help you reach your goals, manage your time, and feel proud of what you accomplish every day. Without discipline, even the best intentions can get lost in distractions, procrastination, or simply doing things the easy way instead of the right way.
Hi everyone. I completely agree, Jenny. And the reason I think discipline is so important is that it's like the foundation of everything we want to achieve. You can have big dreams, amazing ideas, or motivation one day, but without discipline, it's hard to turn those dreams into reality. Discipline gives structure to your actions and helps you stay consistent, even when you don't feel like it. It's not about being harsh with yourself. It's about respecting your time and your goals.
Exactly. And another thing is that discipline doesn't come naturally to everyone. Some people are organized, some people are not. But the good news is that discipline can be learned and practiced, just like any other skill. You start with small actions, small routines, and gradually, it becomes part of who you are. The more you practice it, the easier it gets, and the more freedom you actually feel because you're in control of your life.
And it's interesting because people often confuse discipline with being strict or boring, but it's actually the opposite. Discipline gives you the ability to make choices that benefit you in the long run. For example, choosing to spend 30 minutes reading or learning English instead of scrolling endlessly on your phone. Small choices, repeated every day, create habits that change your life.
In the next part, we'll share our own routines and examples of how we practice discipline in daily life, what works for us, what doesn't, and some honest lessons we've learned along the way. So Alex, I think one of the most important parts of discipline is understanding your own rhythm and creating routines that fit your life. For me, mornings are crucial. I try to wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends, because it sets the tone for the rest of the day. I start with a small morning routine, making my bed, drinking water, and spending a few minutes planning my day. These small habits may seem simple, but they create momentum. Once you start the day intentionally, it's easier to stay disciplined throughout the day, even when unexpected distractions come up.
Absolutely, Jenny. I do something similar, but I focus on setting clear priorities. For example, I make a to-do list with 3 main tasks I want to complete each day. I start with the hardest or most important task first, what some people call eating the frog. It's not always fun at first, but finishing that first task gives a huge sense of accomplishment and makes the rest of the day feel easier. I also notice that planning my day reduces decision fatigue. I don't waste energy thinking about what to do next, which keeps me disciplined without feeling overwhelmed.
Yes, and I also make time for small breaks, because discipline doesn't mean working nonstop. I try to focus for about 45 minutes, then take a short break to stretch, drink water, or just breathe. It sounds simple, but these breaks actually help me stay consistent. Without them, I get tired and my motivation drops, which can make even the easiest tasks feel difficult. Discipline is not about ignoring your needs, it's about balancing effort with care for yourself.
Another thing I've learned is that tracking progress is a game changer. I use a simple journal to note what I did each day, what worked, and what didn't. At the end of the week, I look back and celebrate the small wins. Even if I didn't finish everything, I see the progress I made, which motivates me to keep going. Without reflection, it's easy to forget how much you actually accomplish, and that can make discipline feel like a burden instead of a tool for growth.
And honestly, discipline is also about being realistic. Some days are harder than others. There are mornings when I feel tired, distracted, or just not motivated. On those days, I don't force myself to stick to the plan perfectly. Instead, I focus on doing one small thing that moves me forward. Maybe it's writing one paragraph, reading a page, or speaking English for 5 minutes. These small actions, repeated consistently, are what build long-term habits and real discipline.
Exactly, Jenny. It's consistency over intensity. People often think discipline is about doing huge, impressive things every day, But the truth is, small, consistent actions have a bigger impact than occasional bursts of effort. And it's also about mindset. Instead of saying, I have to be disciplined, I remind myself, I choose to do this because it helps me grow. Changing the way you see discipline can make it feel much more natural and even enjoyable.
In the next part, we'll give practical tips and advice for anyone listening: how to start being more disciplined today, how to build a daily routine that works, and how to stay motivated even when life gets busy or challenging. So Alex, now that we've shared our routines and how we approach discipline, let's talk about practical tips for anyone who wants to start today. First, I think it's so important to start small. Discipline doesn't mean transforming your entire life overnight. If you try to do too much, you'll likely feel overwhelmed and give up. Instead, choose 1 or 2 small habits you can stick to consistently, maybe waking up 30 minutes earlier, making your bed every morning, or dedicating 15 minutes to learning something new. The key is consistency, not intensity. Over time, these small actions add up and create real change.
Exactly, Jenny. And another tip is to schedule your day intentionally. I like to plan my tasks the night before. That way, when I wake up, I know exactly what I want to achieve, and I don't waste time deciding what to do first. Discipline isn't just about forcing yourself to work. It's about creating an environment that supports your goals. Remove distractions, set clear priorities, and make your actions as easy as possible. That's how discipline becomes natural rather than a struggle.
Yes, and one thing that really helps me is tracking progress and celebrating small wins. Even tiny accomplishments matter, like finishing a task, completing a short workout, or speaking English for 5 minutes. Every win, no matter how small, reinforces the habit and motivates you to keep going. Discipline isn't about perfection, it's about showing up every day and being kind to yourself while still moving forward.
Another tip is to use accountability. Share your goals or habits with a friend, family member, or even online community. When someone else knows what you're working on, it gives you extra motivation to follow through. I also find it helpful to review my progress weekly and reflect on what worked and what didn't. This keeps me aware of my growth and allows me to adjust without getting discouraged.
And finally, I'd say the most important thing is mindset. Discipline works best when you shift from "I have to do this" to "I choose to do this because it helps me grow." When you see your actions as a choice that benefits you, rather than a punishment or obligation, it becomes easier to stick with your routine and even enjoy the process. Small steps, patience, and self-belief are the real foundations of long-lasting discipline.
Absolutely. And remember, discipline isn't about being perfect or never making mistakes. It's about showing up, taking action, and learning from every experience. Over time, your daily routines, small habits, and consistent efforts will create big results. And the most rewarding part is not just achieving goals, but growing as a person, more confident, focused, and capable than you were before.
Thank you so much for listening with us. We hope this conversation gives you practical ideas and motivation to start being more disciplined today. Remember, it's about taking small steps, creating routines, and being patient with yourself. Your growth happens one action at a time.
Exactly. Keep going, stay consistent, and enjoy the journey. Discipline isn't a restriction, it's your tool to build the life you want. See you in the next podcast.